The fourth plenary meeting of the 8th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea was held at the headquarters building of the Party Central Committee between December 27th and 31st, Juche 110 or 2021. The respected Kim Jong-un, General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, attended the plenary meeting. Present there were members and alternate members of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. Also on hand as observers were officials of the departments of the Party Central Committee, senior officials of the ministries, national agencies, provincial-level leading organs, cities, counties, and major industrial establishments, and officials of important sectors concerned. The executive was formed with members of the political bureau of the Party Central Committee. The political bureau of the Party Central Committee authorized Kim Jong-un to preside over the plenary meeting. Kim Jong-un referred to the main purpose of the convocation of the plenary meeting and its significance and importance, and gave an analysis and estimation of the Party Central Committee on the party and state work for 2021, the first year of implementing the decisions adopted at the historic 8th Party Congress. He said we should make an analysis of something instructive first with coolness at the point of summing up the work of the year with pride, and continued, some lessons we draw should be the driving force of further complementing the revolutionary policies and tapping our greater potentials for development. This is the important purpose of having called this plenary meeting, and herein lies a great practical significance of development of revolution. The plenary meeting brought up the following agenda items for discussion. 1. On the review of implementation of major party and state policies for 2021 and the work plans for 2022. 2. On the implementation of the state budget for 2021 and the state budget bill for 2022. 3. On the immediate tasks for correct solution of the socialist rural question in our country. 4. On revising some articles of the party rules. 5. On the party organizational and ideological life of the members of the central leadership organ of the party in the second half of the year 2021. 6. Organizational issue. The plenary meeting approved the agenda items presented with unanimous approbation. For discussion of the first agenda item, the plenary meeting heard a report of Kim Do-kun, member of the Presidium of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea and Premier of the Cabinet, and speeches of sectors. Kim Jong-un made an important concluding speech for the first agenda item on the orientation of work of the party and the state for 2022. First of all, he analyzed and summed up the first-year work of the party and the state for implementing the decisions of the Party Congress. 2021 of tense yet worthwhile struggle to implement new action program of socialist construction presented by the Party Congress is a year of great victory, which opened the prelude of tremendous change to a comprehensive development of socialist construction in severe difficulties. This is the general estimation given by the Party Central Committee. The general goal and aim of the Party Central Committee in this year's work were to carry out the tasks set forth by the second plenary meeting of the 8th Party Central Committee unconditionally, and thus bring about practical changes and substantial successes awaited and welcomed by the people. In the agricultural sector, the party attaches greatest importance to. There were achievements which can be estimated and the remarkable progress which make us gain confidence. Kim Jong-un courteously proposed to the plenary meeting that thanks should be given in the name of the Party Central Committee to the exemplary officials, workers, scientists, and technicians in the field of agriculture who made an active contribution to doing good farming despite this year's unfavorable conditions. The plenary meeting fully supported his proposal. The noteworthy successes made by the Party Central Committee for the people this year were that it powerfully promoted the huge tasks of grand construction it planned, and thus greatly demonstrated the vibrant development and reserved strength of socialism of Korean style. great improvement and results were brought about in implementing this year's plans. The fields of electric power and coal industries, in charge of power of the national economy, vigorously led the whole economy through vigorous struggle for production. The fields of building materials, machine building and mining industries, forestry, land and marine transport, and railway transport backed up the national construction and great improvement in production. Planned discipline was established, and work attitude of the leading economic officials remarkably improved in the field of economy. This is a reliable guarantee to advance the economy and the state affairs more powerfully in the future. The common ideological consciousness of all people for a socialist life and development got stronger to fully display the might of collectivism in practice. The Party Central Committee appreciated that predominant tendency to make new innovations, bold creation, and steady advance in this year's work was manifested, and changes brought about in establishing the party climate, such as the strengthening of the organizational discipline of the party and the implementation of the party decisions. Active attempts were made at the cabinet and other economic guidance organs to intensify the unified guidance and control of the state of the economic work and improve the economic management method. The work to perfect the socialist legal system was further deepened and the legal order strengthened, and so a substantial progress was made in guaranteeing the economic development and the stabilization of the people's living. The national defense industry sector continued to develop latest weapon systems according to its correct plan of development and greatly demonstrated the progress and modernity of our military muscle. This is very important in this year's achievements. This year, when the Party Congress was held, many young people volunteered to work in difficult and challenging sectors and grew to be those with noble virtues and traits moving the people. Their spirit is very high, and it is a noteworthy political success. Estimating the successes in this year's struggle, the Party Central Committee appreciated that to find out the method of stabilizing the economy in the most difficult circumstances and the method of living by our own efforts actively one by one and put them into practice is an affirmative aspect in the economic development, and the process is just the cause of powerful advance of socialism of Korean style toward the comprehensive development of the state. Kim Jong-un said great achievements worthy of pride were made in this year's work because the entire people rose up as one with loyal mind to resolutely defend the authority of the Party Congress and devoted all their patriotic sweat to carrying out the first-year tasks of the 5-year plan, overcoming all difficulties. He, in the name of the Party Central Committee, highly estimated the members of the whole party, working people across the country, and the service personnel of the People's Army, who glorified 2021 when the Party Congress was held as a proud year of victory, noteworthy in the history of socialist construction with their indefatigable and stubborn efforts, and sent warm greetings to them. The concluding speech dwelt upon the shortcomings and important lessons in this year's work and policies of the solution. Kim Jong-un pointed out the main orientation of the work of the party and the state for 2022 and clarified the principled issues and policy of struggle for a new development of the socialist construction. The basic tasks facing the party and the people the next year are to provide a firm guarantee for implementing the 5-year plan and make remarkable changes in the national development and the people's living, and thus write a glorious page in the history of the country. The field of the economy, the main front of socialist construction, should concentrate efforts on more powerfully propelling the readjustment and reinforcement while revitalizing the present production to put the economy of the country on a normal track and provide the people with a stabilized and improved life. The concluding speech mentioned in detail major policy tasks to be carried out by basic industries the next year. In addition, it importantly put forward tasks to make a radical progress in solving the issue of food, clothing, and housing for the people. Kim Jong-un said it is a consistent policy of the party and the state to provide students across the country with school uniforms and school things at the state expense. He advanced the task to supply new style of good quality school uniforms and bags to all the students, and took crucial measures of the Party Central Committee to carry it out. He emphasized that the fisheries sector should increase the fish production, do good fish breeding and culture, and carry on the work of increasing the marine resources in a substantial way. Tasks were mentioned in the concluding speech that the mining industry, forestry, information industry, and other sectors should develop their work in practice and thus make an active contribution to the national economic development. The concluding speech dwelt upon the tasks to powerfully promote the work of readjusting and reinforcing the material and technical foundations of the national economy. It also emphasized the issues on enhancing the function and role of the cabinet as an organizer of the economy, intensifying the work to improve the planning method, and putting the economic activities on a track of regularization and standardization. It put forward important tasks to innovate the work in the field of culture such as science, education, and public health, and thus promote a comprehensive development of the socialist construction. It touched on the principled issues to be maintained in the press and sports fields, and stressed the need to aim at bold exploration and vigorous leap forward toward the advanced level. Kim Jong-un said the noble and civilized way of life and morality based on collectivism are the foundation of socialism of Korean style and the powerful tonic of its progress and development. He added that the excellent virtues and traits peculiar to the Korean people, which are highly displayed day by day, should be consolidated as social spirit and customs. The concluding speech pointed out once again the emergency anti-epidemic work as the most important work to be put on the order of priority of the state affairs, and done powerfully without any slightest slackness, carelessness, and imperfection. It touched on the tasks to wage more active struggle against the anti-socialist and non-socialist practices throughout the party, the state, and the society, provide a thoroughgoing guarantee to the social order and the people's safety by enhancing the role of the judicial organs, and create a revolutionary atmosphere of law observance, and further strengthen the socialist legal system. Kim Jong-un put forward militant tasks facing the field of national defense. The concluding speech presented the principled issues and some tactical directions to be kept in the inter-Korean relations and the field of external affairs to cope with the eventful international political situation and the surroundings. It also presented a task to strengthen the party, the staff of the revolution, and incessantly enhance its leading role in order to successfully carry out the crucial tasks of struggle for a new victory in the socialist construction. Kim Jong-un said the struggle to be waged in 2022 is a great life and death struggle to be dynamically carried on without delay and succeeded without fail for a comprehensive development of socialist construction and for our great people and beloved rising generations. He assured that our party and people will achieve another proud victory as long as there are the great people with a firm faith and strong power to overcome any trials in unity around the party with one mind and purpose, and the precious experiences which made it possible to achieve great successes by our own efforts, even in the severe circumstances like this year. Winding up his concluding speech, Kim Jong-un ardently called upon the whole party and the entire people to powerfully speed up the overall development of the socialist construction by putting spurs to the spirit of dynamic advance, and thus make the next year a year of great revolutionary events to be significantly written in the history of the country, and another turning point in the great struggle of advancing toward a bright future. Discussing the second agenda item, The plenary meeting made the final deliberation of the implementation of the state budget for 2021 and the state budget bill for 2022 raised by the State Budget Deliberation Group after examination and approved its presentation to the 6th session of the 14th Supreme People's Assembly. The plenary meeting discussed the third agenda item on the immediate tasks for correct solution of the socialist rural question in our country. Kim Jong-un made a historic report. Let us open a great new era of development of the socialist countryside of our style. He summarized the policy of the party, which has attached importance to the rural question since its foundation and the historic costs for its realization, and made clear the importance and significance of correct solution of the socialist rural question at present. He said it is necessary to powerfully accelerate the rural promotion under the slogan toward a new victory in the socialist rural construction to put the agriculture of the country on a definite stage of rise and open a great new era of achieving a radical development of the socialist countryside of Korean style. And he clarified the goals and immediate main tasks of the socialist rural construction. He said the party's goals of socialist rural construction are to model the countryside of the whole country on the Juche idea and make it materially rich, and continued, the elevation of the ideological consciousness of the agricultural workers, the rapid development of the agricultural productivity, and the fundamental change of the living surroundings in rural communities are the goals to be hit in the development of the countryside of Korean style. The work to attain the goals of socialist rural construction is a gigantic yet serious revolution. In order to successfully solve the rural question assuming the protracted character and versatility, it is necessary to set scientific stages and targets and wage a purposeful struggle according to annual plans, he said, and presented medium and long-term strategy of rural development the party and the state should hold fast to in the future. Kim Jong-un said we should powerfully speed up the rural revolution with confidence and optimism, and thus wonderfully change all the countryside into a socialist paradise worthy of pride, and realize the centuries-old desire and ideal of the people at an early date, and put forward specific tasks and ways for it. Powerfully speeding up the three revolutions, ideological, technical, and cultural, in the countryside is the most important task to solve the socialist rural question. The report presented it as a primary task for carrying out the three revolutions in the countryside to carry on the ideological revolution forcefully. It touched on launching the technical revolution dynamically in the countryside to make the agricultural workers those of intellectual type. The report stressed that in order to bring about a fundamental improvement in carrying out the cultural revolution in the countryside, it is necessary to raise the level of cultural consciousness of the agricultural workers and establish a revolutionary, sound, and civilized way of life in the countryside. In the historic report, Kim Jong-un presented it as an urgent and important task in solving the rural question at present to boost the agricultural production of the country in a sustainable way. The report referred to consistently keeping the scientific farming first principle in successfully carrying out the urgent task, whose solution is awaited by the people most. In the report, Kim Jong-un expressed the determination and will of the party once again to realize the centuries-old desire of the people in the near future, and made clear the ways to orient the agricultural production of the country to replacing the people's culture of diet by that with a main stress on polished rice and flour foods. The report importantly touched on the task to strengthen the scientific and technical force of the agricultural sector. It emphasized the importance and principal demand of improving the guidance and management in achieving a sustainable development of the agricultural production in the socialist society. it clarified practical ways to strengthen the unified, planned, and scientific and technical guidance of the whole of the agricultural production of the country and bring into full play the advantages of the agricultural guidance system of Korean style with a main stress on a county cooperative farm management committee. In the historic report, Kim Jong-un made clear the revolutionary policies and measures to increase the state investment in agriculture and thus decisively strengthen the material and technical foundations of agriculture. He said it is the plan and determination of the party to cover the rural communities across the country with modern farm machines we made and make them new socialist countryside in which the agricultural workers do farming by machines. He added that in order to bring the day earlier, he made a deep study of the issue on the basis of the general analysis of the existing farm machine factories. He stated that the Party Central Committee plans to develop the Kumsung tractor factory into a comprehensive factory capable of producing various kinds of efficient farm machines as well as tractors with high horsepower, and concentrate investment on the major farm machine factories and farm machine research institutes, and thus completely renovate the farm machine industry of the country. And he took specially important measures to materialize it. He said it is necessary to attach importance to South Hwanghae Province, the greatest agricultural province of the country, and importantly stressed the need to concentrate the party and state efforts on the province, so that it can take the lead in the agricultural production of the country. He made a detailed analysis of the general financial state of the cooperative farms, which are conducting their business activities in difficult conditions, and declared preferential measures to exempt the cooperative farms from all the fund they failed to redeem after obtaining a loan from the state, as part of the important steps to make the countryside develop by itself and reinforce the economic foundation of the farms. He also presented it as the most important task in the socialist rural construction to decisively change the looks and environment of the countryside. He especially stressed the need to ensure the originality, modernity, cultural level and political quality in the rural construction by thoroughly maintaining the party's idea of architectural beauty on the local construction. The historic report presented it as an important task to strengthen the party guidance of the socialist rural construction. It stressed the need to establish the system of regularly summing up the implementation of the policy on the socialist rural construction and taking measures throughout the party so that the program on the rural construction can be turned into an entity of great change every year. Kim Jong-un expressed the belief that a victory will be surely achieved in the historic work to put the agriculture of the country on a definite track of sustainable development and greatly change the countryside as long as there are the correct leadership of the party, the correctest program on the rural construction, and the loyalty and patriotic enthusiasm of the party members and other working people. The plenary meeting held 3-day sectional meetings for study and discussion to map out detailed work plans for carrying out the next year's tasks of struggle and implementing the new program on the rural construction on the basis of the idea and spirit of the important concluding speech and the historic report of Kim Jong-un. The plenary meeting made a final deliberation of the opinions put together at the draft decision-making group, and adopted the decisions on thoroughly carrying out the tasks for 2022 according to the 5-year plan presented by the 8th Party Congress, and on thoroughly implementing the great program of struggle on the socialist rural construction of our style with unanimous approval. Recognizing that the amendment to the party rules is of practical significance in regularizing and standardizing the party building and activities through the enough prior study of the members of the central leadership organ of the party on the 4th agenda item, the plenary meeting adopted a decision on revising articles concerned of the party rules with unanimous approval. The plenary meeting discussed the 5th agenda item. materials on the party organizational and ideological life of the members of the central leadership organ of the party in the second half of the year 2021 were informed, and there was a review. The plenary meeting discussed the organizational issue as the sixth agenda item. Member and alternate member of the political bureau of the Party Central Committee were recalled and by-elected, and members and alternate members of the Party Central Committee were recalled and by-elected. The fourth plenary meeting of the 8th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, held for 5 days amid revolutionary enthusiasm, finished its work, taking a solemn oath to be always loyal to the revolutionary idea and cause of the great leaders Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il.